Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Mystery Arts Inc. I'm Jacob, your benevolent host here, again on a dark and stormy night, just trying to get my content caught up as I've been incredibly busy as our video marketing business has been growing. It's giving me less and less time to devote to making these videos, but I want to keep out here for you. I want to give you tips, tricks, and all kinds of great information. But that being said, today we're going to go over Total Control. What are my thoughts on this? What are my thoughts on technology in Magic? And obviously, who is this for? Who is this best going to benefit? And who can take this and utilize this in their world in a really big way. So that being said, let's go ahead and roll that intro. So Total Control by Hiroshi Magic. Hiroshi Magic! What a great guy. I started getting to know Hiroshi on Instagram recently, and just what a lovely, really passionate, really appreciative, and really compellingly interesting guy. If you ever meet him in person, just talk to him and chat his ear off. He's really fascinating. I got to briefly meet him in person and shake his hand in Blackpool, but it was just a quick exchange. And then once we started chatting on Instagram when he released Total Control, I just absolutely loved the guy. Like, what a tremendously nice guy. I'm a previous owner. My first encounter with Hiroshi was via the call, which I'm going to also do a video for that because I've had that for a while. And while, like I've kind of said before, I prefer to have products for a little while before I do a review. Typically, I am the last reviewer to do a review on a product, and the reason for that is simple. I don't want to just give you a review and tell you, oh, it's great, or oh, it sucks, or I'm indifferent. I want to be able to give you a review and help you make an informed buying decision, but I also want to give you some ideas and some value to go with it. Case in point, on the call, I've created a new thing with it that when I make that review, I think those of you out there that have the call and maybe been reluctant to perform it because of one issue, I'd say, with the original method, I fixed it. And if you're interested in this, feel free to reach out to me at on Instagram at jedi.shit and provide me your proof of purchase, please. I will need to see your order form, and I will make a quick Loom video where I'll screen share my iPhone and show you what modifications I've made basically to the routine to make it even more powerful and fix the problem, I would say, with it. I can't speak too much of it because I don't want to give away too much, but if you want basically a supplement of something I've done for the call, just reach out to me again at jedi.shit. That being said, if you want to get the call or Total Control for 10% off over from our good friends here at Illusionist, I did buy both of these products with my own money. You can use the link down below to get 10% off, not just Total Control or the call, but your entire order at Illusionist. You can also use coupon code Jacob Michaels. So that being said, let's kind of launch into what this is. What I think really makes Total Control super powerful is it adds a lot of elements of theater and stage work to the close-up and casual performer, or even the stroller, or even the people at corporate events. I will say that once you do this once, I don't think you're going to want to take it out of your set. I'm personally, again, because this is one of those few reviews where I'm doing the review before testing the product, before taking it out. I've got the run-throughs of everything going, everything's integrated in that needs to be integrated in. For Total Control, this is not an app-based method. For one, it is restricted to iPhone currently. I know at the time of recording this, G has sent over to Hiroshi a Android device to try and build out a Android solution or something close, and they're investigating that right now. So for those of you that are Android users, stay tuned. That'll come out soon. But above all else, this adds something that David Hira, I believe, I remember from my Dirty Bird Live days, talked about in his Dirty Bird Live lecture, where he had this amazing, he brought the importance of having theater, lights, sound, experience, different things into a performance space. And we're really lacking that as close-up magicians, mentalists, mystery artists. We're lacking that in a lot of ways. That's what kind of makes Shin Lim so great, is he can press play on music, do a close-up set on stage or close-up, and it's beautiful and entrancing because there's so many different elements going on. He's got things that happen on beats, and that's really what you're gonna get here in Total Control. In Total Control, essentially, you are getting a full, like, what feels like a stage piece, but happens less than 2 feet away from somebody else. And I guarantee you, when you do this out and about, you will gather a crowd. I couldn't imagine you couldn't. Again, I can't validate this. I have not performed this yet. I want to make that blatantly apparent here. But if you're somebody that really wants a performance piece in a close-up scenario, this is it. If it's not obvious here, the product itself is this, for those of you that aren't aware. You essentially create almost what feels like a PK touches almost-esque routine and above with somebody else's phone. So for example, you have your phone, you open up the control center here, and when you touch their Wi-Fi off, for example, your phone's Wi-Fi off goes off. When you slide the volume key down on yours or on theirs or on the table or whatever, it goes up and down on your phone. And this is all stuff that is not app-based. It's got some amazing things in it in the way of, like, music's playing, for example, in one part of it, but it's not coming through, like on the for those of you that know, it's not coming through here on the notification center. So they can try and stop the music on your phone, and they won't be able to. It's not coming. It's a really weird loophole that Hiroshi has kind of found in this thing that's really, really incredible. There's moments where when you turn on the airplane mode, you hear and you hear an airplane go by, and there's just so many auditory and visual things in here. Or when you have the person holding the phone shake it, or you shake the table, sort of like when you're doing a tilt on like a pinball machine, the lights start to, you know, get all over the place, and you get this weird kind of glitchy effect. There's just so much built into this that's really, really crazy. That being said, how clear, how concise, and how easy is this to, first off, put onto your phone as an Apple user? How easy to understand are the instructions, clear and concise, and what's the quality? And finally, how easy is it to go out and start utilizing this thing? Well, that's the great thing. Everything is really easily provided for you. For example, I was a pre-order guy. I got this for the $20 mark, which I think is a steal. There's just so much in this effect that makes it stand out. It's super easy to put everything needed and necessary into your phone. What happens is when you buy it, essentially Illusionist will auto send you an email and say, hey, here's what you need for the call. You basically open that email on your phone, you click a few links, everything gets put into the phone, you run through those special things once, and then from there you're basically set to go for the rest of the time. Now, I will say the hardest thing in learning this is gonna be the choreography, basically, right? Because you have to get choreographed. This is like a piece of theater done close up. You have to get used to the timing of when, you know, for example, you see in the video when Hiroshi touches their phone and, you know, boop, James Brown music starts, and then he pulls it off, it stops. When he goes the other side, doop, he touches and the next piece of music starts, and then boop, when he pulls it off, it stops. You have to get used to that choreography, and you have some control to an extent of how that works, but you don't really, but above all else, you're still gonna have to make sure it's fluid and it becomes basically an extension of you in your presentation, right? Hopefully that makes sense. On the instructional side, basically you have Hiroshi and G, the CEO of Illusionist. They sit down together and they really cut the chut and go through every single bit on this. So G, being a complete beginner in this, obviously he knows a little bit because he produced The Call by Hiroshi a while back and knows Hiroshi relatively well and has seen this done in places like Paris and Nice and different places where they've gone together. But G's a complete beginner in this, and Hiroshi by the end gets him actually performing it and doing a run through as well. Really, really, above all else, if you're somebody that can kind of pick up on timing and is really good at the choreography side of things, you're gonna pick this up and run with it right away, and you just have a bombshell of a crowd gathering thing in your phone all the time. Again, Hiroshi goes by each and every little step and also gives you some options and some tips to customize this. So say when you want to do the music appearing bit and you touch it to their phone and you don't want it to be James Brown that comes out. Well, that's fine. In the video, Hiroshi kind of goes over how you can make it any basic music that comes out of there or any sound clip. He kind of goes over that. Same thing if you want, you know, to modify things a little bit. you can basically go in there and fully customize this based on what your wants and needs are. But each individual part of this is fully customizable. You're able to make it whatever you want. And the instructions are clear and concise and extremely well shot, like we expect from my buddies over at Illusionist. Now, as G says, in a lot of ways, this is a slam banger, obviously. This is great. I really love this effect. I think that if you're somebody that's a mentalist, and that's kind of what you do, you're pure mentalism, this will not be something for you. And the reason is this, right? Obviously, in mentalism, we want to stay as far away from technology as possible, with the exception of things like cell phone unlocks and different things. But I'll tell you, the master of this, and Peter Turner mastery, the guy appears to have no technological skill at all, and to an extent he doesn't. I break down things for Peter technology-wise all the time and run him through things when I've got something new to show him that I think is going to benefit him in some way. But the more kind of dumb we can look with technology, the more, and when we're using technology and mentalism, obviously the better it can be. While this is a magical effect, I think that would detract from someone that's a pure mentalist. But if you're a magician or a mentalist magician and you have visual elements to your show, wow, this thing's gonna be perfect for you. I used to take just the pure mentalism approach. I used to not think technology and magic was useful at all. You know, and the call is really one of the first things that changed my mind on that. And to now be at this point where now I'm using like wiki test and all this other stuff, and to have something like this in my arsenal is just a showpiece, just for when I want to gather people, have a good time, and present something that I'm going to customize and make a personality piece more about me. It's great. Now, some of the things I've kind of found and added to this, and it's talked about briefly in the video, but I want to make it really important, because those of you here that watch my reviews, you know that you don't come here probably just for the reviews. You probably also come here for these little bits like this. Now, obviously in this effect, when you do something to their phone, your phone reacts in a way, right? But that being said, what's cool about this, because one, if somebody comes in later, they're probably gonna see just two phones interacting with each other, and they see somebody holding a phone like this. One, they're probably gonna think that that is their phone, because we're not typically handing our phones over to people, right? So that's one thing working for it. The other thing is, verbally, the more we use things like when I touch this phone, look what that phone does. Things like that, and words that don't really directly go, look at my phone. Look what my phone does when I touch your phone. It solidifies a memory in the spectator's mind, and what's cool is, you kind of know how it goes. To give you an idea of a story on this, I used to do the card from mouth, the old Blaine folded up card, signed card from mouth. And I had multiple people come up to me years and years later and go, oh, remember that time that I signed a card and you pushed the deck against my stomach and then I had the card come out of my mouth? The reason that worked is because I was very ambiguous the verbiage, and later on, as they misremembered things, the effect got much bigger and it got much more impressive. And when that happens, you don't go, oh no, it actually came out of my mouth, I'm sorry. You go, oh yeah, that was crazy, right? Yeah, I can't do that anymore for safety reasons. It's the way to do it. Same thing with this. You want to blend that line for not only the people viewing that come in later, but also for their visual memories and for the memories of the person that's involved and everyone else viewing, that you want them to basically misremember that you touched something on your phone and their phone reacted, right? Or, you know, things like that. So this routine is beautiful for that. While the main effect at the time is, look what happens when I touch your phone, what my phone does, what should be remembered later on by your audience verbally and by setting the right groundwork for it is, man, when this guy touched a button on his phone, my phone reacted, and he turned off Bluetooth and it still did it. I have no idea how the hell it happened. Like, you know, there were airplane sounds coming out of my phone, there was music coming out of my phone. You want that memory. That's the memory we seek to build in this, and that's what makes this so damn powerful and why I love it so damn much. Again, if you are somebody that's on the fence about this, you know, and you are a magician or magician mentalist, you're not just a pure mentalist, I would say this is an absolutely wonderful product to have. I'm gonna use this thing. I'm excited to get into it, to dive in, to learn the choreography, and take this and go out and win the day with it. I promise you, like, because of all the elements in it, like, it's so exciting to have like these cool real theater things in basically close-up magic. It's really impressive what Hiroshi's done here. What a guy. And I'm sure that as time goes on, there will be other people adding things to this, growing it. Hopefully, and I've kind of poked G at this. I know a lot of you want the Illusionist forums back for individual effects. Hopefully they create one for this where we can kind of share more of the things and kind of grow what this is basically capable of so that it pays for itself multiple times over and we can exchange ideas and do even more with this. So all that being said, I highly recommend Total Control if it's no shocker at all. If you're somebody on the fence and you really want to get this thing, I do highly recommend, again, using the link down below or the coupon code Jacob Michaels. You can get 10% off not just your purchase Total Control or the call, pick up the call too, but you basically can get 10% off your entire order over at Illusionist, which is super cool. So that being said, thank you all for tuning in. I know this isn't quite as clear and concise as my previous videos. I'm super busy lately. There are going to be a lot more of these just direct talking heads like this coming up, just because I just don't have, unfortunately, the time right now to do more of these videos. But I hope you guys found some insight and some value here. And again, comment down below. Do you agree with, my opinion on technology and magic? Do you think it's something that should be completely separate? You're not going to change my opinion on it, but I'd love to hear your opinion is, because I think that giving a valid opinion is something that's valuable for everybody. Like this video if you did get value from it and you found it entertaining. And of course, please do subscribe and hit that bell notification to stay tuned into everything here on the Mystery Arts Inc. channel. That being said, thank you so much for watching. You have a great one wherever you are in the world, and I'll catch you on the double lift side. Cheers.